8th mantra of the text, the Guru recommends to take up study of Shatarudriya, referring to the 100 verses of Lord Shiva, what we understood as adhite. The word adhite means one who attempts to absorb the quintessence contained in this Vedantic literature. One who is inspired to commit their lives to a journey of self-purification, only leading up to the ultimate goal of self-realization. One who is inspired by that process or the journey of either purification or realization, while he is engaged in the study of the scriptures, he maintains an attitude of a disinterested interest in everything that is being carried out. Repeat, while you are in the pursuit of your goal, you remain disinterested to everything else that you are doing. In fact, a disinterested interest. In fact, the loftier the goal, the intensity with which you get disinterested gets magnified. Just like a person who plays sport at a domestic level, a local level, community level, he will do certain preparations, certain precautions to play that game. But imagine the same game or with a football or cricket or golf or whatever. Imagine an international player, a top professional is playing the same game. What kind of discipline, what kind of attention to detail he takes, so that the main purpose of him is to exhibit that talent of playing that particular sport. He doesn't take things lightly. He would not have half a kg of cheese every morning. Half a kg of cheese I have every morning, my pot belly and my back will only bulge, because that is where fat gets reserved. And my tire tube gets bigger of the tummy. I will not eat. Full stop. If I don't have anything, I will eat. I will, I'm saying, if I have to play the game tomorrow morning, I will not get dead drunk tonight. Would I? I would want to do many things that will help me get to that, achieve that goal. So the loftier the goal, to that extent you maintain an attitude of disinterested interest. I have said this, in fact, disinterested interest means you lead a very high sattvic life. If the goal is sattvic, I cannot but lead a sattvic life to get me to that sattvic goal. I cannot lead a rajasic life or a tamasic life. They are deterrents. They don't take me to my goal. So how can I lead a life of rajas or tamas if I have pitched up a sattvic goal? And if I have pitched up the loftiest of sattvic goal, how sattvic must I conduct myself to give myself a chance to get to that loftiest goal, isn't it? So a person who is tamasic is disinterested, lazy, tamas. We said you can't measure your level of objectivity or sakshi when we did the 23rd mantra of the previous part, the last satsang. We said that if you want to gauge your level of objectivity, to what extent are your sakshi, it has to be measured not in areas of disinterest. Means where you have no vasana or interest, what's the big deal? What's the big deal of evaluating yourself? That's not a good, that's not the right way of evaluating yourself spiritually. So if you are disinterested, it is tamas. If you are interested in what the world throws at you, and if that whatever the world throws at you, if you show interest in it, if you have as we keep saying, not just a value, but a black market value for it, that's rajas. But a sattvic person is interested because he has to conduct himself in a particular way, but in and through he remains disinterested. So we have to come up with a marriage of terminology to understand what that state is. And the marriage of terminology is known as a disinterested interest. You are interested in it because you have to perform your dharma or your role. You are disinterested in it because you have to get to the goal which you have conceived. So interest is to the extent you have to do what you have to do. Disinterest is, I don't want to be bound. I don't want to be bound by an iron chain, nor do I want to be bound by a gold chain or a diamond-studded chain. Everything is nothing but bondage to the world. So, Shatarudriya Adhite. So, you are reflecting and contemplating constantly. The churning of your intellect constantly happens on the higher truths. And one who does that becomes purified by fire, intoxicants, killing a brahmana or commission or mission. What he is only taking it to an absolute point, exaggerating it to a point of fault. What it means is you can do whatever life demands you to do. As long as you find it right for you in that context, go ahead. What is right for me in this context where I am placed now may not be right for you to do where you are placed now. Your situation, your circumstances, your duties and responsibilities, your expectations from yourself and from the world demands you to conduct yourself in a particular way. And that always is a dynamic platform. It is not a static state. So whatever is demanded, you do it. So what may be right for me will look obviously wrong for you. Vis-a-vis what is right for you may look wrong for me. So who is to decide what is right, what is wrong? Therefore, we say action is always a neutral. It's a zero in mathematics. Where you put it gives it value or takes away the value. Or the point, I would say the point rather. Either the zero or the point, the decimal dot. So at the highest level, all these actions are also maaf. Maaf means they don't incur any sin. Action incurs sin only when it is backed by a thought or a motive or an intent. Remember that. You incur the sin or a stain of a vasana and consequences of that action. Consequences of action can be a vasana. Consequences of action can be the fruits of action. So you will incur only a sin or a consequence of an action only when it is backed by an intent. When there is no intent, when there is no backing, when an action is done purely on obligation, it is sinless. Therefore, all these actions, he says, you are purified. Even though you're performing the action, you're purified. The opposite of that is, I'm committing a sin even without performing the action. By performing the action without a motive, I am purified. I don't incur sin. The opposite of that is, I may not be performing action, but I am incurring sin. How does that explain itself? How do you understand, rationalize that I may not be performing the action, but yet I'm incurring sin? Let me ask Amitama. Amitama, what do you make sense of that?
Good morning, sir. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
I suppose it's got to do with the intent that you spoke about. So even if I'm not committing any action, the thought itself, which may not be sattvic or not aligned with my end goal of self realization, even before I go into any action, that intent, that thought itself is incurs sin.
Absolutely. The very intent means, if I am away from the marketplace or I am in the marketplace, but the sheer fact that my mind entertains a thought for the world, I have triggered a chain reaction. The opposite of that is, you are playing the role in the marketplace, in the thick and thin, but no thought backing it at all.
Yes, sir.
Amazing, isn't it? Two poles apart. And yet the world will look at a person who is away from the world as spiritual, and one in the marketplace as material. Every now and then, let's say you all keep bumping into me in the marketplace. You say, hey, why is Guruji all the time in malls and shopping and that and this and running around? Is this right for him to do? Understandable. Once in a while, he also has to go and shop or do what is required and things. But every other day, you find him. You say, hey, this fellow is a very materialistic fellow, I must say that. You're quick to judge a person. Oh, he's all the time sitting at his desk. I'm missing my desk, Gayatrima. Next time we'll bring a collapsible desk. Now I'm sitting on a chair which is rolling, which is swinging. How do I concentrate? Tell me. Because the chair has wheels. Suddenly, if I roll by, I'm not in the frame, please, I'll come back into the frame. Because I'm not used to sitting on rollers, you know. Oh, he's all the time sitting and studying. Very spiritual he must be. You have no clue where my mind is, what my mind is up to. On what basis you judge, God knows. This has given a license to the impersonators. This has given license to those who put on a garb of spirituality. And these are the people who are destroying religion. So don't make that mistake of giving a license to what you see and giving more truth to it than it is. So that part. And then there's a very beautiful construction which I wanted to bring it out. The word avimuktam. Avimuktam means one who is never not liberated. Now, it's a very unique language and style of a Upanishadic text, a Vedic text. Avimuktam, which literally means one never not liberated. Muktam is liberated. Okay, Muktaha or Muktam is liberated. Vimuktaha, not liberated. I'm giving the breakdown of what the word avimuktam means. Muktaha is liberated. Vimuktaha is not liberated. Avimuktaha, never not liberated. Ramji, I am lost, Ramji. We need little clarity, sir, here.
Harikam Guruji.
Okay, sir.
So never not liberated.
Ama.
That means he's always liberated.
Huh?
Two negatives, sir. Double negative is positive. So never not liberated means liberated.
Means never was it bound.
Never was he bound. Yes.
What is he talking about? Obviously, he's talking about the self, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he says, I am not the body, I am not the senses, I am not the Panchabhutas, etc. He said. And then he said here that he who absorbs the Shatarudriya, he who has absorbed the quintessence of Vedanta, such a person is never bound. Rather than saying directly not bound, he's saying never not liberated. Just to objective, just to make us think, hey, what is he saying? Like even when you read it initially, how can that be? Is there an error? Is there a mistake? Isn't it, sir?
Absolutely.
And throughout they speak this language to put you in a spot of bother and say, better exercise your intellect.
Yeah.
So never not liberated means never has the self been bound. It has been ever free. And he's saying, you would realize it through wisdom. Please embark on this journey of acquiring wisdom. Because one who absorbs Shatarudriya means one who has got the wisdom. He is never bound. Never bound doing what? The self is never bound, absolute level, relative level, you may do anything, you're never bound. You're all liberated. Applies to that also, isn't it? Whatever the 4 deeds he took a mention of, all that you do, you're not bound, man. You're liberated. You're free. As I just said to Amitama, you don't have that motive, you're never incur any sin. I see it so clearly. I hope you see it clearly. Not only the goal, it's also the path is very clear. And tasmat, tasmat, whenever they use the word therefore, it only means an end of a systematic approach to a subject matter. One should strive to become ever liberated. Tasmad vimukta mashrito bhavati. Atyashrami sarvada sakridva japet. He who is of the highest order of life should chant it always. Or sakrut. Sarvada or sakrut. Sarvada means all the time, throughout the day you're remembering Nitya Smarana. or even once? What does it mean? Always or even once?
Even once you have done it, that is enough.
What does it mean?
You have done once and absorbed the essence of it. See, whether you do it every day or you do it once, if you don't absorb the essence of it, it's of no use. So even with once, if you have absorbed the essence, then that is enough.
It has served the purpose.
Yeah,
So it is not the quantity of effort, it's the quality of effort.
right.
And when a person reflected once and absorbed the quintessence, it only suggests the caliber of the student, isn't it? Like some students have to be told again and again to convey the message or to get the job done. But there are students who just need to be told. Just need to be even an indicator or a pointer is enough. They will pick it up.
Ekasantagrahi, they are called.
Eka?
Ekasantagrahi means with once they absorb the essence.
Perfect. The caliber of Ekalavya, maybe. The caliber of one who is like in the tight, what is that example, Rajma, we were taking in the classes other day, in the lab?
Where, Guruji? In the school?
Yeah, in the school sessions, that titrame, what is that?
Titration.
Titration.
Titration, yeah.
In the
Calibration.
titration, in the chemistry lab, when you do titration, the last drop makes all the difference.
Yeah,
But the last drop has made the difference because all of the drops had gone in. You can't count on the last drop. You have to count on all that which has already gone into that. So the more I come to understand this, I can only fall back on to my own experience when I was 16, so ignorant of life, not knowing what it is I was getting into. And the first exposure created a conflagration in my life, completely consumed my life. It only means that I did not know I was so ready to receive this knowledge, and it is just one spark is enough to trigger it. And I see that in the experience. I'm actually in Ahmedabad. We are here for conducting some training for the young students of a school at the age of 16, 17. 400 odd students were being exposed to this wisdom. And I can distinctively see those who have acutely connected. It has a resounding impact, and the feedback and the way they have grappled it is just so heartening. But even amongst the people who have responded favorably, I can distinctively identify, I know to what extent they have, it has struck a chord, or it could be transformation. And that's a very small percentage though, but everybody responded. More, I would say, very large percentage of people are just, they got, wow, this was just that reaction. Wow, my God, there is something I did not know, and I'm glad I've got this exposure now. All that's all right. But to bring about a paradigm shift in your thought and your life and your life's purpose, for that you need to be really ready. The 24 23 or 24 drops afterward already gone in, then the last drop will make all the difference. The 25th drop will make a difference. If I'm only at the 3rd or the 5th drop, you need a long time to get to that transformation. And having done all that, if I don't do justice to the choice I've made, I'm committing a sin. Therefore, I need to lead such a sattvic life that I uphold the choice I've made, the decision I've taken to embark on this journey. It just fits in, so I can relate to it. And there's a reference to the highest ashrama. The highest ashrama, the 4 ashramas are the brahmacharya, which is celibacy, grihastha, which is a householder, vanaprastha, you're a recluse, and sannyasa, you are an ascetic. So here he's referring to a life of an ascetic. But there are people who are very clear, I only want to be born as a grihastha in samsara. Next 10 janmas. No, you want to be born bound, get bound. Who am I to liberate you? I want to liberate you. You say you're kicking me away like a football match. Madhuri kicking me away. Okay, pa. Get bound, get stuck, suffer. Who am I to tell you? Who am I to be interested in you? I am trying to pull you. You don't want your chance are you will pull me down with your weight. So I am letting go of myself. Vandapa. Parvala. Sorry, Harish. I'm talking little Tamil. Somebody will pull you down. No? Either I pull you up or you pull me down. What would you do, Harish?
I would pull myself up or pull you up, not down, definitely up.
Thank you, Harish. So, even to entertain the thought that I want to lead a life of a sannyasa, a sannyasi. Now, don't take it, oh, therefore, am I to change my wardrobe, sir? Okay, please give me some suggestions. I would like to grow spiritually and I have to change my wardrobe into the orthodox robes of a sannyasi. Though I will be looked upon by many, my family first, in a very peculiar way. They thought something wrong with me. But still, I will make sincere attempts. It is not the robe. I've just said that it is not the place you are. It is not the robe you wear. It's not the garb you put on. It is the identification with the goal and the purpose to get to the goal and the approach you take to life. If I am bound, I am a samsari. If I am liberated and not attached, I am a sannyasi. I can be bound to the samsara of the ashram, students, my studies, my work. If I'm bound to that, I am a sannyasi. That is my samsara. Your samsara may be money, business, family, profits, travel, holiday, this. You're bound to that. That's the difference is only I'm either chained by a metal or I'm chained by a valuable metal. But still I'm bound. Nah? So a definition of a sannyasi is, I refer to the 6th chapter of the Gita, verse 1. Please fall back. Don't ever forget this verse, where he says, Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karotiyah sa sannyasi sa yogi na niragnir na chakriyah. A person who is a sannyasi, anashrita karma phalam, he who does his bounden duty, karyam karma, anashrita karma phalam karyam karma, renouncing the fruit of action. He who does his bounden duty, renouncing the fruit of his action, he sa sannyasi sa yogi. You can't get a candid, clearer definition than this. He is a sannyasi, he is a yogi. Sannyas is not one who is putting various types of stripes on his body and his forehead. Not one who puts on a robe or conducts himself in a particular way because the robe demands him to do so. That is not a sannyasi. Perhaps those days when the Guru spoke, he meant of those who adhered truly, who were not hypocrites. They really, when they put on that robe, when I put on a robe of a sannyasi, two things. It means I am not interested in the world, so don't disturb me. I have embarked on a journey. I am not available. Don't send invitations. I had the attitude of a sannyasi yesterday night. In particular, not that I don't have that. Other times, very lovingly, the organizers had sent passes for a very reputed, I don't want to get into the detail for obvious reasons, for a show, a theatrical show for a couple of hours, which starts at 8:30 at night and ended close to 10ish. And right through, I tell you, what am I doing there? I almost repented my choice of accepting the invitation. I said, man, I should be more alert next time. I don't have to please them. Not that I was pleasing, but I just said, all right, But it's been a very, very demanding last 3 days of continuous lecturing. The last 3 days, I've had more than 7 lectures trying to capture, address the students, and off stage, on stage is constant. It is very demanding. And above that, to go and sit, and I was just holding my head. Ennada panna idu? Where have I got stuck? How can I get out of this? So then I said, okay, I have now got into it. Let me be there. You're in it, mentally out of it. Then I was being told, why are you conducting the class next morning? Take rest, no? Cancel the class. Hey, anashrita karma phalam karyam karmada. So something told me you have a bounden duty to do your duty. Whether you like it or not, you have to perform, renouncing the fruit of action. Such a person, if you do this to the extent you do, you are a sannyasi or a yogi. This is the highest ashrama of life. It doesn't mean you have to bring about a change in your life. You bring about a change in your attitude to life. One who brings in this attitude to life, he's a sannyasi, not one who merely changes his wardrobe or a garb and continues to be bound by the world. He is not a sannyasi. All right.